In A Love Founded in Faith, journey alongside Christopher and Marie as they discover the beauty of true intimacy and commitment in a Christ-centered relationship. Both scarred by past heartaches, they find solace and renewed hope in their shared faith in God. As their love blossoms, they navigate the complexities of blending their families and overcoming external doubts. Through tender moments, heartfelt conversations, and unwavering faith, they build a relationship based on mutual respect and pure love. Their journey culminates in a joyous wedding, where they pledge their lives to each other before God and their community. As they embark on married life, Christopher and Marie continue to inspire others with their unwavering faith, love, and dedication to each other.
The Woman at the Well, authored by Stephanie M. Seaton, is a story of grace and redemption. The woman at the well mattered. I am, is always near. Jesus' blood paid our ransom while we were yet sinners. The book can be found on Amazon.com.
First time on camera, yeah.
Welcome to another edition of the Stephanie M. Seaton Sunday Show. I am so happy that you tuned in tonight. Tonight is another amazing episode. We have a guest in the house tonight. We have the Dallas artist, also known as Mr. Trey Norris. Welcome.
Hey, welcome. Nice to be here. How are you?
I am doing good. What about you?
Oh man, I'm blessed. I'm well. Can't complain. Thank you for asking.
Been a good day for you.
Of course, man, I'm alive, so every day is a good day when I'm in that state, so I can't complain.
Praise the Lord. So tonight
Yes, man.
we are going to be talking to the Dallas artist, Mr. Trey. I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Trey a couple weeks ago. I was actually at an event, the Soul Fest, with the Dot Bookshop, one of my favorite places in Fort Worth, Texas. And Mr. Trey was actually there with some of his artwork, as you can see behind him. We're going to get a look at that here in just a moment. And I was like, wow, these pictures, the drawings look like pictures. It literally looks like he took photographs versus actual drawings. And so I was just like, wow, I've got to talk to him. I've got to get him on the podcast so that we can showcase his work and his talent. And so tonight we have Mr. Trey with us tonight. We're going to get to know him, the man, and then him, the artist. So, Trey, my very first question that I ask all of my guests is please tell us who is Mr. Trey?
Fair enough. Mr. Trey is a hardworking, dedicated to God man in every sense of that. It sounds simple, but it's so complex because to be dedicated to God, I'm sure you know, you
Yeah,
have to put aside a lot of things, sacrifice a lot of things, and walk a certain path. So, yeah,
yeah,
I am dedicated to that process of I ain't perfect, but
right.
I'm dedicated to getting to that point of perfection. So yeah, hopefully that sums it up and answers it for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, let's kind of get started with family.
Of
What
course.
did family look like for you growing up? I know you and I have kind of talked a little bit about your family structure. I know that you were raised in a single parent home. Kind of tell us a little bit about what family looked like so we can kind of get to know you, the person, as we lead into you, the artist.
Sure. Yeah, man. I'm a one of four children. Second, I was the first son. So got an older sister who used to bully me around a lot, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
now I'm the bigger, younger brother. So she stopped doing that a long time ago, but she made me tough. She had to take up for me a lot when I was younger because, you know, we grew up in Oak Cliff, you know, it was rough. And, you know, at a certain point, I didn't know what fighting was. And she was like, I
yeah,
got your back. Don't touch my brother. And I had to come on with it. And so
yeah,
she was a part of that process. And yeah, single mother. Uh, we knew what struggling, well, we didn't know what struggling was because we were struggling. So I never knew what struggling was because
yeah.
when you're in the midst of a thing, you can't identify it.
Right.
Uh,
Ooh, that was
but
good. Hold on, Trey. Hold on. So I have this thing when people say something that is very profound, I ask
mhm,
them to repeat it again. So for that phrase that you just said, we need to hear that again. When you're in say it again the way you said it. What did you say?
yeah, hopefully I catch it. But when you're in the midst of the struggle, it's kind of it's hard to identify it.
Wow, that right there. That part, as they say, that part.
Yes, ma'am.
that,
Yes,
that was a
ma'am.
good one. That was a good one. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, all praises. Uh, but yeah, that is what molded me and
Mhm.
what taught me perseverance, what helped me, you know, go through the long journey of cultivating my craft with the Most High. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and it took a long time, but it was also passion filled and led too. So it wasn't like
Yeah.
I could stop. So yeah, but
Yeah.
single parent household, we struggle. Um, a lot of different schools throughout Dallas and some in Corsicana, Texas, a little small little place I spent a little time. Um, but yeah, a lot of new beginnings. Um, made me more versatile as a person to where I
Yeah.
never meet a stranger. I know how to work a room,
Yeah.
um, you know, things of that nature. But yeah, overall, just going through whatever you can imagine a struggle to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lived it and I'm more strong because of it.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
understand that. We've got some live viewers tonight, Trey. So we want to welcome Miss Evelyn into our conversation tonight. Hello, Miss Evelyn Woods. Good to see you. So we'll have people that'll be chiming in as we go on with our interview.
Okay.
So we talked a little about family. What did faith look like, Trey, as far as your family? Were y'all in? Did you grow up in church, or was that something that happened later on in life for you? What did that look like for you?
You know, one of my earliest memories of church
Okay.
is uh, I don't know how old I was, but it was real cold, a itchy red and green sweater, and a glass of orange juice and warm donuts. I don't know how
Wow.
old I was, but that's one of my
Mm.
first memories of church. And yeah, we were in church like every Sunday when I was
Yeah.
young. It was one of our refuges, you know what I mean, to escape, you know, the reality,
Reality. Yeah.
and look for hope. And yeah, I mean, as I got older, you know, um, church became more of a thing that I kind of did every now and then. I started getting into sports and girls and running with the fellas, but I
Right.
never really strayed completely away. I would always be that one that say, "Hey, I want to go to church," and I would just go to church on my own sometimes, and
Yeah.
dive into the Bible on my own and stuff like that. So I never lost that connection. It just grew
Mhm.
over time, and now it's a sweltering flame within me. So yeah,
Yeah. I've heard you say a lot of faith-filled words in the few times that we've spoken. And so my next question is, when did it become more than church, but actually relationship?
hmm. Man, I would have to say when I was a furniture salesman. I had a job as a furniture salesman uh,
Okay.
in Irving, Texas,
Okay.
and I want to say in my late 20s, like 28, 29 years old.
Hmm.
I knew who God was. Well, not who God was specifically, but God,
New
Jesus,
oven. Yeah.
yeah, we know. And there was an older guy, older black gentleman, in his 50s, Calvin Miller. If you're looking, hey, what's up, brother? But he and I thank the Father for him. He shed a lot of light into my life. Encouraged me to peel open the pages and read them myself. With my
Yeah.
own relationship, my own open understanding, with my own circumcised heart. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I never knew what that meant until speaking with him.
Yeah.
So I truly believe that God will put angels in your life when it's time, and He'll
Oh
reveal
yeah.
things to you, and
Yeah.
He'll bring you along a path when it's time for you to get there. So He was one of those for me. And yeah, I would say in my late 20s, 28, 29, when I had my encounters with Him, we would spend time not selling furniture, just on the floor talking about the Bible, man, and
Yeah.
still making that commission somehow, because with two or more in the midst, where two or more gather, He's in the midst. So He's always gonna make a
Right.
way,
Right.
especially when you got the right things in mind. So
Right.
yeah, that was it. That
Okay.
was that time.
Very good. I'm going to put your link here.
Hmm.
This link here, the Dallas artist. This is going to be. Let me. I think we missed a T on that. Let me redo that. Dallas artist. Uh, but this is going to be when it's on Instagram. Does it have the T on it? The Dallas artist.
Yes, the Dallas artist. Yes. Uh
Okay.
huh.
Yeah. So when you're looking for Mr. Trey, and I know you're going to look for him after we go into these details of these amazing drawings that he's got, you're going to be looking for the Dallas artist. I've just dropped the link there. You can find him on Instagram. Uh, the Dallas artist on Instagram, again on Instagram, where you can find him and contact him if you want to take a look or purchase some of his work. Okay, so I want to make that, I'll show that again throughout the broadcast. But again, the Dallas artist. Okay, so we talked about faith, we talked about family. Kind of tell me a little bit about how did you get into drawing? And I know that's something that we discussed because it's definitely God inspired. We talked about
Hmm.
that this wasn't, you didn't take some classes. This was God inspired. And as I'm sitting here looking at you, Trey, I can't help but look behind you at those pictures, on the wall. I keep saying pictures because they look like photos. They're just so amazing. But to
Thank you.
look at those drawings, to see the detail, I know that you talked about wanting to study and capture the emotion. And I see the picture of Lauren Hill there and the picture of Malcolm X. How did you get into drawing? Tell us about that.
Man, it was I was about 6, 5 or 6, and you know, just sitting there on the couch with my brothers and my mother. We watching TV on a Sunday. Simpsons are on. It's in the late 80s, and we were doing homework or something on a coffee table, and pencils and paper were there. And I just so happened to just be looking at the TV, and I was like, you know what? Let me grab. I just for whatever some told me, just grab the paper, grab the
Mm-hmm.
pencils,
Mm-hmm.
and draw what you see on the TV. And I sat there, and I just nobody knew what I was doing. I was just sitting there.
Yeah.
And if my mother could tell you right now, I drew a pretty good picture of Homer and Bart Simpson. You know what I mean? Right out
Wow.
the gate as a 5 or
Yeah.
6 year old. And it
Wow.
was off to the races ever since then. I couldn't put the pencils down. I was drawing on papers. I was drawing on purses. I was drawing on the walls in the apartment. Yeah,
Everywhere.
everywhere, man. Hieroglyphics
Yeah.
was going up in my place. So yeah, man, that's what it
Yeah.
was, man.
Now let me ask you this: you were doing some amazing drawings, but did you get in trouble for some of those wild drawings?
Oh man, listen, I got so many whoopings, man. See, these kids don't know about this nowadays,
Yeah. Yeah.
but them extension cords used to come out. I can't say some of this
Uh.
stuff because you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But nah, but yeah, she used to get me. But now she's happy that I stuck with it, and you know
Definitely.
I'm able to produce some things that bring a lot of feelings to a lot of people. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, answer this for me. In breaking out into being a artist, did you face a lot of hurdles or struggles in this process, or was it kind of just an amazing, uh, gold paved road for you? Or because there's this phrase like starving artists and all this stuff. You hear all these stories, and so I'm just wondering, what did that path look like for you, Trey?
good question. Um, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's been something I've done since, I like to put on uh, my brand or my logo, established in 1982. You know what I mean? Because this is something I've been doing ever since I can remember. And
Hmm.
I've always done it for the love of it, never for the notoriety, never for any money or anything like that. But my biggest hurdle was just staying consistent and just picking up the pencils. I went through a point in my life where work became the most important thing, the pursuit of the money. And because of that, I put my pencils down for a span of, I want to say, 6 or 7 years straight. I
Wow.
didn't touch a pencil for 6 or 7 years. And a part of it was, intimidation. I was looking at other artists and what they were doing. The internet was
Yeah.
starting to become a big thing, starting to boom, and you get a lot of exposure. You see. And I was intimidated by some of the work that I would see out there, but I didn't know that was exceptional work. You know what I mean? But yet
Right.
still, art is art. But that, and then the pressure of working and running the rat race. Um,
Yeah.
I put my pencils down. God knows
Hmm.
I didn't want to do it, but I didn't
Yeah.
have the desire to pick them up.
Yeah.
But when I did pick them back up, the first piece that I seriously went to work on, as soon as I picked my pencils back up, was my Martin Luther King piece,
Oh,
and
wow.
it was my first journey into doing hyper realism portrait artwork. You know what I mean? So,
Mm.
and it was as if I had been in some kind of bubble that holds 7 years, still practicing in my
Wow.
subconscious and improving without doing any
Wow.
work. It's like doing the mental reps, if you will. And I had went from one level to, I mean, exponentially, man, in
Wow.
7 years. And that's all a blessing. And I
Yeah.
just look at it as, God has been keeping me on the
Yeah.
path that He has for me. So when it's
Wow.
my time, He's going to give me the things that are promised to me for me to do. And this is part of a promise that I guess I have to uphold for Him to do what I have to do. I don't want to be the man with the talents, they get thrown into the lake of fire.
Yeah.
So I got to do what I got to
That
do.
that is profound what you just said. Let me just recap that for a minute. Okay, so you put down the drawing for about 7 years. And I'm gonna give you a personal testimony in just a minute because I did
Okay.
something for 7 years. I stopped ministering the way the Lord told me to for about 7 years. And then I had to pick it up and he had elevated my anointing.
Mm,
So you just
mm,
said you put down the pen, you didn't draw anything, you didn't write
mm,
anything, you didn't do anything.
mm-hmm.
But in 7 years, when you picked it back up without even practicing or doing anything, he had touched it and anointed it and elevated it. That's what God will do. That's what I want to say. That's what he
Mm,
will do. When
mm,
you have a call on your life, Trey,
mm.
whether it be to be an author, to be a minister, to be an artist, whatever the Lord has ordained and called you to do, it don't matter how long it takes you to do it. Sometimes we can be some Jonas, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
For
ma'am.
whatever reason, whether it be life or whatever stands in the way and delays. We're gonna say it delays you because it doesn't
Yeah,
stop the plan of God. Whatever plan that the Lord has for you, it's gonna come to pass. But sometimes it
exactly.
can be delayed. But the fact that when you pick that pen or that pencil or that charcoal back up, it was magnified. That right there, just that was just the Lord's stamp on it. If you ever questioned if he called you, then you knew,
Hmm.
right?
Yes, ma'am. I knew
Yeah.
right then and there.
Wow.
I knew. I knew.
Yeah. Wow.
But
That is
but
amazing.
but even still knowing at that point,
Yeah.
you still got to fight the fights of the negative things that wrestle against that. So it took me some time. Even after that, I guess I had to put in the work to produce the works and you know
Yeah.
get certain things in place. You know what I mean? I've never been one to rush anything. That's why I
Yeah.
do the kind of works I do because I don't rush them. I take my time
Yeah.
and I let them tell me when they're done. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
yeah. So yes, ma'am.
So give me an example. That piece that you're talking about, or any of the pieces that we're going to see here in just a moment. What is a typical time frame? Just kind of give us an average time frame of the detail that you put into, say, one masterpiece.
I would say this Malcolm piece that you're looking at right up here,
Okay.
that piece there, it took me. I actually logged the hours on that. I had to get that ready for a show specifically. That took me 48 and a half hours total of work
Wow.
time, which at that time I was working a full-time job and I had a side hustle. So I was kind of working as I kind of saw the leisure time to do it. But
Yeah.
in real time, it took me about 3.5 months of real time to finish it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is that about average for you, or is that on the quicker spectrum? How does that average?
I would say that would be on the slower side for me because at that time I wasn't able to put that as a more of a dedication. But at this time, I'm actually able. Like I say, I'm walking in that purpose, and this is more of a dedication
Yeah.
for me. So yeah, I would say cut that time in half. I can have a piece ready in about a month and a half, but still, it's still going to
Hmm.
take a little time because I'm not one to just forcibly draw. I gotta come
Yeah.
in and I
Yeah.
see it and I'm like, man, I wanna put my hands on it. I wanna get the charcoals. I wanna go to work, and that's when I produce my best piece. My best
Yeah.
work is when I'm in that mode. So yeah.
So when you're drawing a piece, and I don't know, I'm trying to visualize this myself. So let me tell you my process as an author. So as an author, when I get ready to write, my process is I have a whole movie plan in my head. And I sit down on my computer and I either talk it out and my computer types it for me,
Mm-hmm.
or I actually type it myself. But either way, in my head, it's a movie. And then I make it into a book.
Okay.
When you get ready to do a picture, I'm imagining that you already see the completed work in your head. And then
Yes.
you keep working on the piece until it matches what's in your head. Is that how that works?
Somewhat. Somewhat. The way I work is any subject decide to put on paper, I dive into that person. I mean, I
Okay.
study them as much as I can. I refamiliarize myself with who they are and their greatness and things like that. And so I kind of build somewhat of a connection with that person, and
Right.
um, and because that's the emotional tie for me. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm. Hmm.
but then as I'm working, I just work off of what I see. I typically get images on my cell phone, and I'll hold my phone here, and I have my paper here, and I'll look at my phone, and I'm
Okay.
working and to me, I don't visualize the entire piece until I
Okay.
got the entire piece laid out to shade it all and detail it all. But
Okay.
I like to go piece by piece. I'm like the ant, you know what I mean? They say, how does an ant eat an elephant? You got to go one bite at a time.
Piece
So
by piece. Yeah. Yeah.
that's the way I like to attack my pictures. That's how I get like the realism out of them, is if I go piece by piece and attack a speck at a time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it builds up into a decent piece of work.
I love it. I love it. Well, listen, Trey, why don't you go ahead and show us some of the pieces that you have there behind you? And feel free, all of us that are viewing, feel free to explain a couple of the pieces, maybe the detail or whatever it is that you want us to know about those pieces. Let's have a look at your work.
Sure, sure. Let me see which one I'm gonna show you here. Let's see. This, like I say, this is my Malcolm piece right here. This
Wow.
piece is a 20. Let me take it off. Let me take this off so I can control this better. This piece is a 24 by 36 uh, charcoal and graphite piece. Um,
Okay.
like I say, this is one that was done um, with a lot of things in mind. A lot of emotion, a lot of thought,
Yeah.
uh, a lot of a lot of empathy for where we were at the time as a people. When I
Yeah.
was producing this with the Trayvon Martins, and a lot of things going on in our community that wasn't really fair, kind of
Yeah.
brought me to produce this. Now, this right here, this is my Lauren Hill piece.
Can you go back to that, the Malcolm? I'm
Sure.
looking at even the detail in the glasses.
Yes, ma'am.
Like, wow, I'm looking at his glasses, and you even added details in the lens. I'm looking in the lens of the glasses.
Yes, ma'am.
Like, that is amazing. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And then,
And
like I
then you
say,
have
I got my
Lauren Hill.
yes, ma'am. This right here, this is one of those pieces where when I was like I say, I was going through, a low light in life, trying to find myself and trying to, find out who I am. Uh,
Yeah.
anybody who is called, excuse me, anybody who's called, let alone chosen, you know, you're going to eventually be faced with the inevitability of you're going to have to find out who you are.
Yeah.
It's a journey we all got to go through.
Yeah.
And this woman here, her struggle that
Mm.
she went through to find herself and what she gave up to find herself. She gave up an entire career,
Yeah.
just to find herself. In this
Yeah.
image, waters they rejuvenate, waters can
Yeah.
cleanse. And
Yeah.
I found nothing better to epitomize that than that image of her. So
That's beautiful. That's
yeah.
beautiful.
And then of course,
Wow.
we got, like I say, this is my first jump into working on anything that was portrait. This was like right after my 7 year hiatus from picking up any pencils.
7 years.
7 whole years,
Wow.
man.
The
And
detail of that. 7 is the
it's
year of completion.
hey,
7 is the
amen to
number of
that.
completion. That is
Amen
an
to that.
amazing. Oh my! I'm even looking at how detailed the hair on his head.
Hey,
Like,
hey,
wow.
yeah. Like I say, that was one of those things to where I just jumped out and he said, "Hey, go," and I just started putting things together. And hey,
Hmm.
he got your back. Despite what you might
Yeah.
think, he
Yeah.
got our back at all times. this is
Yeah.
this piece here. This is a
Mhm.
rose. I don't know how good you can see with that light in there, but this is a rose.
Uh-huh.
And this piece is important to me. I call this inevitability. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Um,
Okay.
and the purpose of this piece was I was in corporate America, and this is one of
Okay.
those hurdles this is one of those hurdles I didn't mention about art. Uh,
Okay.
I was a sales guy. I was making decent money, but I wasn't happy.
Right.
My moral compass was challenged because of the principle of what I had to do to make the money, in
Right.
finance.
Right.
And I was met at a crossroad: pursue my art, or stay in that, or some sort
Mhm.
of in between. Um, this piece, this drop, that bead of water there, that is me. That's me
Oh wow.
stuck at my corporate job on that pedal right there, thinking I'm safe and I'm going to be able to sit there. But when you got a purpose in your life,
Yeah.
you don't control it. So inevitably, we all know
Mm,
that that pedal's
Jesus.
going to fall. That pedal's going to that bead's going to fall off that pedal and it's going to roll
Yeah.
off. We all know that, but the bead of
Yeah.
water doesn't know that. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's that.
That's
That was the
amazing.
purpose of that piece. And this one
Mm.
here, that's just my boy Bob Marley, man.
Oh wow.
Nothing more. That was just one of those. I was in a joyful place. I picked up my pencils. God was showing me some things. He had showing me, hey, you don't have to give up on anything, man. I got your back. I'm here. And I was in a place of joy when I put this together, man. I was really just
Yeah.
celebrating what God was showing me, and that was just a piece of celebration to me right there, which hence the expression on his face, the joy that he's feeling
Yeah.
while he's in his purpose. I was feeling that same joy while I'm
Yeah.
in my purpose, producing this. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and this right here, this is just
Amazing.
me. This is just me dabbling in some acrylics, man. Like I said, I dabble with acrylics. I'm still working on that, so that's just a self-portrait. Me in Louisville, Kentucky, at an event, messing around. But yeah, man, that's just some of my work. That's just what I do.
Very
You know what I mean?
amazing. Amazing. Amazing.
Thank you.
Wow. Let me put this up again. This is the Dallas artist. His name is Trey. This is his link to his Instagram. Please make sure that you contact him, look him up. If you are looking for some special pieces, I'm sure he could pretty much create anything.
Pretty
And
much.
then if he has one of the pictures there, are all of those pictures for sale that you have there?
Yes, all of these originals are for sale. You can just drop me a DM on my Instagram. Um, and yeah, they're all for sale. I also have prints. I have a Shopify store that's going to be the same. The Dallas artist you'll be seeing pretty soon. Follow with the
Okay.
website, which I'll be linking to my Insta pretty soon as well. So yeah,
Very good. Very good. Um, Now, this was not just a God given talent to you, but two of your children, is that correct, have the ability to draw. Is that right?
correct. I have four daughters total. Two younger daughters, and my middle two daughters. They both are amazing artists. As a matter of fact, I may can show you one of my daughter's pieces. Let me see. This is one of
Okay.
her early pieces that she produced that she did. And let me see if I can bring this over here in this light. Show this. Yeah,
And at
this is
what
one of my
age
best.
did they start?
She's 19 now. She's been producing art since I want to say she was about. This is her piece here. She painted that, but she did
Oh,
this
wow.
when she was about 15. She did that at
Okay.
15,
Oh,
and
wow.
she's been drawing and painting since she was about 11, 10, 11.
Le- Okay. That's
Yeah.
nice.
But
Very
she's
nice.
grown leaps and bounds from this now in this last little 4 years. So yeah, they get
Yeah.
it. They get it honestly, man. They just work and
That is a
they're just humble.
blessing. That is a
Yeah.
blessing. So I know you have a art show coming up December the 6th through December the 8th. The Dallas artist, Mr. Trey, will be at the Art Basel in Miami, Florida. Will this be your first time? Is this a repeat? Tell us a little bit about that, Trey.
This will be my first time at the event in Miami, but we just did an initial event, artists and afros in Louisville, Kentucky. Last month, we just helped open up a center there, black-owned center, owned by wonderful two black women, bringing art awareness and health and everything else good to that community up there in Louisville, Kentucky. So we helped them open that center. And yeah, so this will be my second time getting out here to a major show and just getting myself out there. So I look forward to it.
Very good, very good. I'm going to put that on here too. So if you happen to be watching and you are in the Miami, Florida area, the Dallas artist will be in Miami, Florida, for a art show. So go out and show him some love. Again, the Dallas artist on Instagram. Make sure that you reach out to him. I'm going to give you three words, Mr. Trey, and you tell me which word stands out the most and why. Okay.
Okay.
Healing, empowerment, or transformation. Which one stands out the most, and share with us why?
Empowerment,
Okay.
because if you can empower an individual, then if they are made up of the right stuff, they can heal and they can transform themselves with the power of God. Because that empower is going to bring you a closer relationship with God. So with that, you're going to have the ability to do the other two things easily.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. What do you say to someone that is just starting out, trying to find their way, maybe even getting a little bit frustrated with just jumping into this art thing, trying to figure out like, is this just a hobby or is this a passion? What do you say to encourage them?
I just say stick with it. Don't give up on it. You know what I mean? If it's something that you know that you didn't get it nowhere else, it's just in you. First of all, you can't give up on it. You're not going to give up on it because nothing you can do is going to stop God's purpose. But
There
be
we go.
mindful.
Yeah,
Be be mindful, be thankful, be patient.
yeah. Wow. So, for I know you started out with your drawings. You started out with The Simpsons. Do you do any animation now,
Oh
or
man.
or, or
Yeah, I
not much animation
not a lot of animation. You know, when I was in high school, I had a lot of letters go home to my mother by Dragon Ball Z and a whole bunch of that stuff. A lot of that anime back in the day. But nowadays, it's all about just trying to perfect this kind of stuff here. Just trying to get as much detail as possible. Just
now?
I'm I'm in love with the kind of work I do. So it's like I can't
Yeah,
cheat on
it's
it.
amazing.
I just gotta stick with it. I can't cheat on it.
And you do take special requests for special pieces.
I do. Yep. Any commission piece you want, just hit me up. We can discuss details and pricing and all that. Yeah. Shipping and all that good stuff. Yeah, we can get all that done.
Very good. Well, as we get ready to come to a close, what else would you like to tell us about your work, or just whatever you want to say here in these last few minutes? I'd like for you to have the closing words. What would you like to share?
Sure. Man, that's put me on the spot. But I appreciate it. I'm simple. I just want everybody to know that this is something that truly comes from within, where where the seat of God is. He told Moses in the wilderness that his name was I am that I am. And if we all understand how not to take his name in vain and how to proclaim ourselves in victory every single chance we get, then we'll understand that, you know, we're gonna fall right into his order. And that's what I'm doing with these works. I'm just following the call. I'm thankful, I'm grateful, I'm protected, I'm healed, I'm I'm overjoyed. I'm thankful to
Yeah.
you for the opportunity. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's nothing more for me to say about it. I'm not one to brag or boast or too much anything like that. I'm just a humble guy trying to produce good work. That's it.
I think you're doing an amazing job, Mr. Trey. Again, Mr. Trey Norris is the Dallas artist. Make sure you look him up on Instagram. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight for this special edition of the Stephanie M. Seaton Sunday Show, where we have been talking to a phenomenal artist, the Dallas artist, Mr. Trey. Again, on Instagram, does custom pieces by request. He can ship them out to you. So just reach out to him. Y'all can go over the details as well as the pictures that you have seen behind him. All of those drawings are available as well. Make sure that you like, tag, and promote this show on tonight so that this can be a blessing to someone else. And if you have not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe to the Stephanie M. Seaton Sunday Show. We will be back again on Thursday night. I will have another amazing guest on the show. So make sure you tune in on Thursday night. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hold tight there, Trey, okay?
All right.
Have a great night, everyone, and we will be back on Thursday.
If you would like to be a guest on the Stephanie M. Seaton Sunday Show, email Stephanie at stephaniemseatontheauthor@gmail.com.